Welcome to the like and subscribe store. We have all the greatest technologies. What can I get for you?
Do you have any AirPods Pro? Okay, how much are those?
That'll be $250.
I'm just a kid, all I have is this.
Well then, I guess we'll have to see what I have in the back in my secret stash. Let me go see. I guess you can have one of these. Yo guys, Jake Bacon here, and today I'm going to be going over what I think are the top actually affordable true wireless earbuds. I did a video comparing the top true wireless earbuds a couple weeks ago, and I had a lot of people mention that they either couldn't afford those or just didn't want to spend the money. So I thought it would be a good idea to see what cost-effective options were out there and if they were worth your time and money. As there are so many options in these price points, I cannot possibly cover them all, but this will give you a good idea about what to expect from an option that isn't on the list, as many of them are similar or even just rebranded. I also wasn't able to find some of the other popular options in the United States, and this will also not be an extensive review on each earbud, but we'll cover what I think are the main points and differences, and will help you decide either what to purchase or what to look into more. It is always good to have multiple reviewers' opinions. Lastly, we all have different ears and sound preferences, so these are my experiences and opinions, and they may differ from yours. Okay, with all that out of the way, I'm sure a lot of you are here for the Logitech G915 giveaway announcement. I will be picking the winner during this video, so stick around and good luck. I'm also going to be giving away one of these earbuds of your choice to one lucky winner. All you have to do is comment down below which earbuds you want out of all the options that I'm reviewing today, and I'll be announcing the winner in the next video, which should be in about 3 to 4 days, so get your comments in soon. Also, make sure to hit that like button until it starts to sizzle, subscribe for more, and ring the bell to get that sweet, sweet smell of bacon in your inbox, and so you don't miss any upcoming giveaways. Oh, and by the way, check out the PC color. Yeah, this was the top voted color choice on my Instagram, so it made it into the video. I like to do fun things like this and interact with my great community, so if that interests you, definitely come follow me on Instagram and Twitter. All right, woo, man. Let's get into the actual comparison now. I'm gonna be breaking this up into price categories of $29.99, $39.99, $49.99, and $59.99, and there's also one $69.99 price option as well. In each price category, there'll be categories for fit and comfort and looks, the case, sound, and the features. And then for each price category, I'm gonna pick a winner, and then at the end, I'm gonna pick an ultimate winner out of all those, and we're gonna see who ultimately gets the crown. I will also have links to purchase all of these in the description below. This is an affiliate link with Amazon that costs you no extra money, but I get a small amount and it helps support me and the channel. So definitely, I really appreciate it if you decide to use it. All right, so first up, we have our cheapest options for $29.99. I'm gonna be completely honest up front and say that unless you are on the very absolutely tightest budget, I would spend $10 more and move up to the $39.99 price category. Moving into this price category, you will get a lot better features, comfort, and sound. But for those of you who just really can't afford that, my picks are the Aukey EP-T21. They don't even have a name for it, but they are the AirPods shape, and then the Jlabs Go Air and the Skullcandy Sesh. All right, so first up is fit, comfort, and looks. This is definitely going to depend on if you like the more traditional shape or the AirPods shape. But I personally think this is a tie between the Skullcandys and the Aukeys. The Aukeys are an all black design with no branding, so they definitely look sleek. The Jlabs look nice as well, but I have issues with them, which we'll get into. Comfort hands down goes to the Aukeys. It's actually pretty comfortable and light, and it stays in your ear, while both the Jlabs and the Skullcandy Sesh are very cheap and plasticky feeling, and they just don't feel good in my ear. But I'll give second place to the Jlabs and third to Skullcandy. The Aukeys might actually be some of the most comfortable of any of the earbuds. For the case, the Jlabs are immediately eliminated. They just sit in the case with magnets, but there is no covering on them at all. While the magnets are decently strong, I would never trust this. All you have to do is slightly miss when you're putting them in and not have them insecurely or something bumping them as you put them in or out of your pocket. For this reason, I wouldn't even consider buying them, but this is up to you. And then to make matters worse, they only have an integrated charger, which is into the case. It's very short, and if it breaks, I mean, you're pretty much screwed. Both the Aukey and the Skullcandy case are similar. Both of them are okay with cheap plastic, but get the job done. The Skullcandy case has a battery level amount indicator lights, while the Aukey doesn't, but the Aukey case is much smaller. Both cases are micro USB, which is a huge bummer, but almost every other earbud here today has USB-C, which is one of the reasons I recommend just moving up $10 into the next category. So I'm gonna go give this to the Aukey for best case, as I think having a smaller case is important. Now, probably the most important category is sound. All of these options sound a fair amount worse than the $39.99 options. They're boxy and tinny without much bass. But the winner here is definitely the Aukeys. They're the loudest, and the Skullcandies have a little bit of a scratchy sound in the highs. But they are pretty comparable, however. The Aukeys are a lot louder. And the Jlabs are very quiet. Volume all the way up is about the same as halfway on the Aukeys, so if you're going to be listening to these anywhere besides a quiet bedroom, which pretty much anyone is going to, I wouldn't recommend them. Alright, lastly is features for these. None of these have an app. The Aukeys and Jlabs have touch controls, and the Skullcandies have a button. This isn't good or bad, it's just your preference, but the Aukeys have no volume control, so you have to control the volume with your phone. This isn't a deal breaker for me, but I know it can be for some people. They all have an IP rating, so you can work out in all of these. Battery life on these is going to be around 5 to 6 hours for a single charge, with about 4 more charges from the case. It is worth mentioning though that the Skullcandy Sesh are only rated for 3-hour battery life and 7 hours total from the case, so that's 10 hours total. This is pretty awful compared to every other option. You'll still get a full day, but if this is important to you, then skip these. So my overall pick for the $29.99 category is gonna go to the Aukeys. They have the most comfortable fit, smallest case, and the best sound by a slight margin. Second place is gonna go to the Skullcandy Sesh, and last place is gonna go to the Jlabs Go Air. But I really don't even think you should consider these at all. Alright, next up is the $39.99 category. We got the Mpow M30s and the M9s. Basically, they're pretty similar except for which shape you prefer. And then we have the Soundcore Liberty Neos and the Earfun Free. For fit, comfort, and looks, last place is going to go to the Soundcore Liberty Neos. They are the least comfortable for me, and they also have the worst looking logo. Again, though, this is a very subjective category. Second and third place, I think, is going to be more determined on if you like the traditional shape or the AirPod shape more. But for me, I think the Mpow M9 are more comfortable than the Earfuns. So I'm going to give the M9 second place and the Earfun third place. First place is going to go to the M30 because I think it has the smallest, most sleek design, and it is super comfortable in my ear. They all come with extra tips, so you can hopefully get your perfect fit. The winner for the case is also going to go to the M30s because their case is so much smaller than the others. Last place automatically goes to the Soundcore Liberty Neo because it's a pretty big case, and it is the only one that uses micro USB instead of USB-C. The Earfun and the M9 case are pretty much the same, and they both have a battery charging amount indicators on the case. Okay, so now for sound. The Mpow M30 and the M9 are pretty similar. They both have a decent amount of bass and are pretty balanced with a slightly bright top end. They're pretty loud and have decent instrument separation. However, if you're a bass head, these won't really do it for you unless you use a separate EQ app. So really, again, just pick the shape that you like the more for these. Soundcore loses the sound category because they don't have much bass and they have a fizzy top end. Now the Earfun Frees have the most bass without it stepping on the mids or highs too much. If you want a more balanced sound, I would go for the Mpows, but I'm giving first place to the Earfun as it is the most fun to listen to. Now for features, I'm sorry, this is automatically gonna go to the Earfun Free because they have wireless charging. This is an incredible feature at this price point, and most of these even at higher price points do not have this. They're also IPX7 rated, and a 10-minute charge would get you 2 hours of playtime, but you get this feature on most of these. They have volume control as well as all other standard controls and voice assistant activation, but the only thing I don't like is the button. I wish they were touch controlled, and when you press the button, they push a little bit into your ear. It is not super uncomfortable, but it's something to be aware of. Battery life is similar in all of these, pretty much being about 6 hours of playtime with 24 hours total with the case. They all are sweat proof, so you can work out in any of them, but none of them have an app and they don't have any AQ settings. The Soundcore Liberty Neos lose this category because they don't have volume control. Alright, so places for the $39.99 category. The Mpow M9 and M30 are basically tied, but I'm going to give second place to the M30 and third place to the M9. Because I like the comfort and shape of the M30 more. It's also sometimes on sale for $35 instead of $40, so you can save some money there. The Soundcore loses for having the worst sound in my opinion and having no volume control. The Earfun Frees are crowned first place because of the awesome wireless charging. Great bass and sounding the best to me. Alright, so now we're gonna finally move into my favorite price category, the $49.99 price point. This is where I think the real sweet spot is. If you can afford it, I would highly recommend any of these choices. You start getting much better sound quality and features. And spoiler, the $59.99 and $69.99 options, they're not much better, if they're even better at all. This comparison will be between the Jlabs Air, the Soundcore Life P2, the Enacfire E60, and the Fiil T1X. Okay, so again, fit, comfort, and looks. This is gonna be hard because I think they're all somewhat similar, except for again, if you want the AirPod look, you're gonna have to go with the Soundcore Life P2. I'm going to say the loser in this category is probably the Enacfire E60, and this is just because they don't have branding on the earbuds, but they actually put the left and right indicators on the earbuds themselves that everyone can see, and I think it looks terrible. Third place is gonna go to the Jbuds Air because the hard plastic that Jbud uses, while it feels solid, it just is not comfortable to me and they are pretty bulky. Second place goes to Soundcore Life P2, and the winner is gonna be the Fiil T1X. They are the most comfortable to me, but they also have an option to use a wingtip or no wingtip, which I think is awesome. They also personally have the most premium look and feel, especially compared to some of the higher end options that I've tried. And out of all the earbuds, even the more expensive ones, they have the most premium look and feel. The case on these is similar, but last place is gonna again go to Jlabs because it is the biggest case. And again, they have that integrated charging cable. I really don't know who thought this was a good idea, but let me know down below in the comments if I'm just missing something. I mean, at least if they kept the integrated cable while also putting another way to charge it, that would work. The Enacfire E60 and Jlabs, they both have a battery level indicator lights, while the Life P2 and the Fiil T1X just show if they are charging. The T1X also shows what functions are on each earbud inside the case, which I think was a pretty nice touch, and their case also feels the most premium. This one is pretty tough, but I'm gonna have to give the third place to Soundcore Life P2 because it's pretty big and it has no battery level indicator. Second place to the Fiil T1X because it is the most premium feeling, but also kind of big, and first place is definitely gonna go the Enacfire E60 because it is the smallest by far and it has the battery level indicator lights. All right, now for sound, and this is where it gets pretty interesting at this price point. Jlabs, again, I'm sorry, but they're losing this category. They are the worst sounding, and they do have 3 different EQ modes, which is a nice touch, except on normal mode, they do not have much bass at all. And on the bass boost mode, most of the bass is too sterile and takes over the other frequency ranges. And then on the Jlab signature sound mode, this is the only mode that I think sounds good with a bass boost and boosts the vocals, but it still doesn't sound good as the other 3 in my opinion. Oh, and by the way, these all have pretty decent passive noise isolation. All right, so third place is gonna go to the Enacfire E60 in terms of sound. They're more balanced and flat sounding than the Soundcore Life P2, but they do sound a little boxy. Second place is going to the Soundcore Life P2. They have decent bass, but they have a slightly fizzy and harsh high end. This lets more detail come through, but can be slightly fatiguing with long listening sessions. And I like the overall sound signature more than the E60. And first place is definitely going to the Fiil T1X. Not only do I think they are the best sounding in this price point, but I think I might like them more than the most expensive options as well. These definitely have the most bass out of any of these earbuds, and it also doesn't mask too much of the other frequencies either. They're slightly muddy in the highs, but I think they are definitely the most fun to listen to, and if you like bass, you have to definitely consider these. Alright, now on to features, and at this price point, the only earbuds with an app are the Fiil T1X. With this app, you can choose different EQ modes like bass, original, and treble, and they even have a bunch of other EQ modes as well. You can also put these in low latency mode to get less latency with things such as YouTube. The Enacfire E60 and Fiil T1X, they both have touch controls and the other 2 have buttons, so again, it's just up to your preference. They all have good battery life, and it is better than the lower end options. It's about 6 to 8 hours with about 4 charges from each case, but the Soundcore Life P2 and the Enacfire, the E60, they both advertise 40 hours total. The Jlabs Air battery is again the worst though. They can all be worn while working out, and the Life P2 and the Enacfire E60 can probably actually be worn in the shower as well. 10 minutes of charging gives these all 2 hours of playtime. The Enacfire E60 are the only ones at this price point though with wireless charging, which again I think is such an amazing feature at this price point. Third place is gonna go the Soundcore Life P2, but only because the Fiil T1X has an app and EQ modes, so I'm gonna give it second place, and the Enacfire E60 gets first place for having wireless charging. Alright, this comparison is getting pretty long at this point, so I'm going to put the last 3 in the same category. These are the Aukey EP-N5, again no name, the Skullcandy Sesh Evo, and the Skullcandy Indy Evo. I personally don't really think that any of these options are better than the $50 options, and especially at the $70 price point of the Indy Evo, you're getting dangerously close to the $100 options, and those are going to be a lot better. Now that said, the Aukeys at $59.99, they actually have active noise canceling. The sound quality and other features though aren't any better than the $50 options. In fact, I think that the Fiil T1X sound better, but if you have to have active noise canceling, this is the only option with this feature. I do think though that most of these earbuds passive noise canceling is good enough. They also don't have wireless charging. In fact, none of these more expensive options have wireless charging, and I think that's a huge bummer. I mean, some of the lower price points have this. I don't know why they didn't put that in here. The Skullcandies both do have integration with Tile, so you can use the Tile app to find them if you lose them. I think it's a pretty sleek feature, and the Indy Evos have an ambient listening mode, which works pretty well. That's pretty much what you're gonna be paying for. The sound quality on the Indy Evos is definitely up there with the best, but I don't think it's $20 better. All right, so let's pick the top 3 and crown a winner. Again, please remember that this is very subjective, and if there's anything I missed or you would like to know more about any of these, I'm happy to help. Just ask below in the comments. And before I announce the top 3, let's pick a winner for the Logitech G915 giveaway. So this was for the Logitech G915, and I just want to thank everyone who entered. We had a great turnout with over 126 entries. Also, remember this was completely random, so everyone has the same chance, and if you don't win, I definitely feel for you, and I know what a bummer it is, but make sure to stick around because I will definitely be doing more giveaways in the future. In fact, there's another one at the end of this video. All right, so I'm gonna bring my daughter in to help me pick the winning name.
Wanna record?
Yeah. All right, so this is my daughter, Violet. Can you say hi?
Hi.
And she's gonna help me pick a name out of this basket right here. All right, go ahead and pick. Okay, this is what she picked. Let's see. Ooh. All right, so the winner is Sauce Boss 17. And let me just show you real quick so you know, believe me. All right, congratulations, man. You're gonna love this keyboard. And to everyone else, just stick around. There'll be more giveaways in the future. All right, Violet, thanks for helping me. Say bye.
Bye.
All right, so the winners for the top 3 headphones are, in third place, the Aukey EP-N5s, and this is because of their active noise canceling feature. In second place, we have the Earfun Free, and this is for sounding great and having wireless charging at such an incredible price point. And then lastly, in first place and crowned the champion of the 2020 Affordable True Wireless Earbuds Award is that Fiil T1X. This is for having my overall favorite sound with great bass, premium quality and comfort, and even having an app at only $49.99. I've had much more expensive earbuds than these, and I'm gonna say that these rival them. And for $49.99, I'm just gonna say these are a no-brainer. Again, if you wanna purchase any of these earbuds, the link is in the description below. And if you wanna win these Fiil T1Xs or any of the other earbuds I compared today, just leave a comment below which one you want, and I will be picking a random winner on my next video in about 3 to 4 days. Make sure to like the video if you liked it. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe for more. And always remember, in bacon we trust. Peace.